Workplaces have changed quite a bit over the last few years, even in the last couple of months. So what will the future of work look like, and how will co-working and on-demand office spaces play a role? To find out a little bit more, we're talking to Jason Abbott from Launch, and we're at the Exchange District location today. So Jason, lots of people might be familiar with co-working spaces, but tell us exactly how Launch in this space works.
Well, Eleanor, Launch works a variety of different ways for a variety of different people and organizations. We have some members who access our spaces every single day, while others access them sort of once or twice a week, or even some that we see once or twice a month. Broadly speaking, we're home to over 200 members from a variety of different industries, from startups to professionals, to multinational corporations, to nonprofit organizations. The common theme, though, across all of them is that they're looking for a predictable and focused place to work, meet, connect, and collaborate.
Do you see opportunities for other businesses moving forward? You touched on startups, finding a space here, but do you see other opportunities for business?
Well, pre-pandemic, I would say the vast majority, probably 80% of our members were in that category of small, medium-sized enterprise, with a couple of multinational corporations. But as we come out of the pandemic and as employers start to enable their employees to work remotely, I think we're going to see a significant shift or a significant demand from enterprise-related employers who are giving their employees the flexibility to work from wherever, whenever.
Almost like a hybrid model,
yeah,
I guess, for work.
Precisely.
And are you seeing a bit of a demand when it comes to that topic?
Yeah, I think it's still a little bit too early to tell from a post-pandemic perspective here in Winnipeg. But even prior, we were seeing multinational corporations like Siemens and Veolia who were enabling their employees to work remotely from a place like Launch. As you've seen over this sort of the short term, we've seen technology companies like Twitter and Shopify who've decided that remote work is going to be here forever, and it's going to be their primary form of deploying their workforce. And so, again, we're going to see a spectrum of employers and employees who, on one hand, they can't work from home and they need to get back in the office, to the other hand, where people love working from home. And then you've got everyone in between who really like the idea of having the flexibility to come in and meet their colleagues and collaborate with their team 1 or 2 or even 3 days a week.
Do you have a member success story that you can point to that really sort of highlights how business needs are changing and evolving?
Yeah, I've got a handful. I mean, just prior, I think it was about 8 months ago, we had a new member join us who was a startup here in Winnipeg, and they've grown during the pandemic from 1 member to 14. And in fact, during that time, they've graduated to their own office space. So it's a great success story on how Launch plays a role along the continuum of every sort of small or medium or even startup business, and how we play that role.
Must be exciting for you to be.
It is. And then, the other, I guess case or member that I can think of is Tech Manitoba. So here's a nonprofit organization that generally had an office space that they weren't particularly visiting all that much as a result. And so they looked for a more flexible option, and they found Launch. And so now we're home to Tech Manitoba, who's a 17-member team who access our spaces on an on-demand basis. And so that's a great story for how we can really help sort of the organizations out there who are now looking at their office space and saying, how can we potentially repurpose some of the resources that used to go into an office space and redeploy them into more into other areas that provide more return on investment.
So lots of potential and lots of opportunity.
We think so, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jason.
You're welcome.
If you want to learn a little bit more about Launch and its services, or you want to find out more about this Investor Insights series, you can go to our website at Economic Development Winnipeg.